ready to the countdown.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more. The original, the best, the UK porn podcast, hosted by Paul Taylor and Scarlett Gray. Exclusive industry chat all about UK porn. Brought to you by Dusk Films. Sponsored by itsadult.com.
Right, hello and welcome, of course, to the UK porn podcast. Coming in your ears. Do you like that one, like, Chris?
Well, yeah, I mean, you actually managed to do it this time.
Fucking forgot. Honestly, what the fuck did we do last show? 3.5 hours?
That was a little bit mental.
But to be fair, it wasn't all of us though, because remember that the interviews are pre-recorded and so's Dick's tips, and they were an hour each, so there's fucking 2 hours there without us saying anything.
True. Right. Like that was a little bit ridiculous.
It was,
It was good crack though.
Oh, it was great crap.
Oh yeah,
It was
it's always
very
good crap.
And then we even talked about movie special features and director's commentaries, and then Scarlett fell asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder how many of our 10k listeners fell asleep when we were talking about that.
I wouldn't be
none.
surprised.
Probably none. We're so interesting. So of course we're sponsored by itsadult.com, and we're here to talk about the adult industry, what's going on and how it's constantly changing, and it's always fucking changing. And give me one of them beers.
No, absolutely not. You like your John Smiths, I like me Pilsner.
Now we obviously doing this live, but Mr. Chris Cummins, aka James Logan, is at the other side of the northeast, aren't you? Because you're not actually in the room with us this time. You're live at the other end on a Google Hangouts call.
I'm live. I'm coming at you live from Gateshead.
Yep. So what?
He's half naked as well.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
He's never half naked when he sits on our sofa, is he?
No, he's not.
No, yeah.
In fact, the only time I see
it's
you,
nice to get the rug out, every now and again. I
uh
feel like I've got quite a nice chest.
you've
carpet.
got the perfect chest for someone to fall asleep on the beach, wait till they've got a suntan, and then shave the British flag into your chest so it will be white.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do like.
so if me and Craig ever take you to the beach, don't fall asleep whatever you do. So we are streaming, of course, on all major platforms: Periscope, YouTube, Smashcast, Vaughan Live, YouNow, and you know what? I can't fucking remember the other two that we've just added last week because I didn't write them down this week. But we're on another two as well now.
Oh wait, that's canny.
Oh,
I remember you hadn't to, but
I
nah,
can't fucking
remember
remember what they
them.
are now. And of course, on Twitter at It's Adult and at UK Podcast _team. Obviously, we pinned on there now where you can actually watch the show from those websites or whatever you fucking call them. And of course, when the stream is over, you can watch or listen to us on itsadult.com /UK porn podcast. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the madhouse. I'm going to say 2 hours of chatting, but you never fucking know. It's never less. That's
True.
a definite.
It's always
It's
more.
never less. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, it's absolute bollocks. It always is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, what does that say to all the people who listen to us if we chat an absolute bollocks and they stay till the end?
You can talk for England.
Oh, no, that. Don't have to say that.
Yeah, like you definitely can. But no, like that's what people want. They want a load of like normal people just chatting a load of shite.
Yeah, but about porn though, so it's like an extra bonus, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
everybody likes a bit of porn. So however you've stumbled across us, everyone, welcome, and get yourself a flask, because a cup of tea's not enough, or get yourself like a beer cooler where you can just have them next to your feet. You know.
That would be canny.
Have you not done that, like?
No, I've only got the one.
So what's that you're drinking there?
Right, it is some cheap stuff from Aldi. It's called Rheinbacher Pilsner.
Is it nice?
And it's 99 pence for a bottle, 500 mils, and it's delicious.
Is it lager though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I would have one because I'm
Try
a man, so I drink beer. But like, you know.
Oh, he
yeah, but
doesn't
you
look too
drink
pleased
watered
with that
down
comment.
John Smith.
Hello, I'm
which
saying
is
I'm a
weak.
man, but I haven't got one hair on my chest, and look at that. That's a proper man, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously, you might notice that while you're listening to this, that this podcast is full of digital adverts. So you'll see the amazing Red Roxy, the highest of caliber in product design and motion graphics. Saucy Peach, another very talented designer, and we've used both of them, haven't we?
Yeah.
For various things. In fact, Saucy Peach designed the UK Porn Podcast logo, which looks amazing on the previous t-shirt. Coming on your ears on the back, of course.
Class.
Red Roxy did
Still waiting for mine.
I know, I need to get them done. Red Roxy did Dusk Films logo, of course, the famous shoot up into space and shit. And we've also got the amazing Webstream, Devon Breeze, and Selena Secret advertising their businesses with us. So if you're a company or a web designer or a production studio or any type of chain, or even a model, if you've got like a clip site that you want to plug, we've got reasonable rates, and you can be featured in the 2-hour show. So get in touch, dustfilms@gmail.com to find out about our sponsor packages. And we don't charge the earth, so seriously.
Look into it.
Yep, exactly. So I am, of course, Paul Taylor, the CEO of Dusk Films and creator of Nerd Pervert.
Hi, I'm Scarlett Gray. I'm a camera operator for Dusk Films.
Aye, nearly just.
Shut up.
And this week I am James Logan, remember this time.
Yeah.
And I am just an actor that does porn.
Yep, that likes getting the dick wet on set.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what's everyone been up to this week then, or anything interesting? There must be a tale from a sex shop. Oh, there is. I got sent a video, didn't I? Do you want to explain that? The customer who you filmed and sent a video to me on the WhatsApp?
That was just because I'm trying to think. When was I telling you about that bloke who like proper stinks?
I think it was last week, but you didn't say it on the show, did you? It was before we went live, I think.
Yeah, it might have been.
It might have been the weekend when we were shooting.
Yeah, he was in. What was that? Yesterday or something? He came
Sunday.
in. Oh, was this? Oh, yeah, he.
It's Tuesday, James. It's Tuesday, and you're on planet Earth. Do you know where you're at?
Nah.
All right.
I mean, it isn't.
So does he come in? Does he come in like every week, just smelling your shop out?
No. Do you know what? Like he'll usually come in like maybe once every couple of weeks, between like 2 weeks and a month or something. But this time when he came in, he wasn't as bad. So I think he might have had a wash like within a couple of weeks. But like it was one of them things where he always comes to try and like speak about porn with me, and I'm just like I'm always having to try and like cover my mouth, look away all the time because he just absolutely stinks. And then like when he goes around the shop like looking at all the DVDs, like he stinks the entire place out. So as soon as he left, I had to like go get a big bottle of like air freshener, go around like all the aisles in the shop, like spraying it, and it lingers for so long. And then when you finally get rid of the smell, it's just like overpowering of like air freshener for ages. But he's the one and only person who stinks so much I have to go around the entire shop to do it.
What, even spreads to the upstairs?
No. Like it doesn't spread to the upstairs, but like I have to go around the entire shop because sometimes I'll get the odd person who like kind of stinks when they're like at the till getting served, but it goes when they go. But this guy, I know like the entire smell just attaches to every part of my shop. It's disgusting.
That's why I be in a sex shop, because anyone who fucking reeks like that, they're not going to be getting anyone to fuck, are they? Male or female, whatever the preference.
I suppose not, but
think so.
I mean, he definitely isn't.
Imagine the fucking build-up of knob cheese on him.
Oh, don't.
That's absolutely disgusting.
So when you say he talks about porn with you, do you mean porn in general, or does he know about your Chris Cummins and he talks about Nerd Pervert?
No. I've never taught him that because I think he's the kind of person who probably would like kind of fixate on that. Nah, he goes on about the type of porn he really enjoys, and then he's like, "Oh, do you have anything that's got like this in or that in?" And then he's just always like, "Oh, like you seen the tits on this one?" Oh, and all that. He's pretty like disgusting bloke.
Disgusting in every sense of the word. I've just realised
every single sense.
I've just taken the piss out of you, saying that you're on planet Earth and it's fucking Tuesday night. My life's jumped to dates fucking Monday. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I know.
So I'm taking the piss out of him, saying that he's on planet Earth. He doesn't know what day it is, and I'm getting the fucking day wrong. It's fucking Monday night, fucking UK Porn Podcast Live. What am I talking about? Why did I fucking say? I've just lost the fuck. I've just jumped a day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think.
Well, I didn't correct you. So.
Well, exactly. So you're just as bad. So I'm gonna think tomorrow's Wednesday and it's really only Tuesday.
It's all right when it goes up. When you said that, I was like, it isn't. So there you go. I was the only person who had the sense to know what day it actually is.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's start again. Hello and welcome to the UK Porn Podcast. This is fucking going bad, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Are you an independent webcam girl or an independent content producer? Even if you're an established brand looking to make sure you're purchasing the best performance to value for your business, check out salaciouscreations.com and let Dick take care of you. His knowledge of technology is from another galaxy.
Yeah, stop buying shit.
Right, well, coming up on today's show, of course, we've got Dick Salacious with his tech tips, right? Useful information that just totally kicks ass. And as you said in previous episodes, it helps you get into the adult industry in under $1,000. And there's not many fucking trades of any industry you can go in for that. I mean, even the fucking plasterer costs more than that for his fucking tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and the stuff that he recommends here isn't shit. It's actually good tech as well, just not massive brand names like something that's got like a bite out of it and shit, like on the logo.
Well,
did he pick that
wrong with
up?
that.
He picked it up. I thought it had gone over his head there.
No.
So yeah, and we've also got a sit-down chat from the set of Nerd Pervert with Jordan J.
Ooh, canny.
Canny.
Really excited about that one, isn't it?
Wait,
and of course we've got Scarlet Grey with her sex fact. Now, obviously, we might as well put you on the bill now because you've got your own section. The question is, we won't be able to reach out and touch it and go ding ding and squash it or whatever you might have for us, but have you got one to hold up on camera?
Well, I did in fact forget to bring something back.
Loser.
Because what I was going to do is I was going to bring a DVD back.
Right.
And I thought that was going to be good. But I did borrow one of my girlfriend's toys, which I have bought myself from my own shop. So I do have this here, so we can have a look at that if you want.
Right,
we'll see
cool.
what the crack is.
Right, okay, well that sounds good to me. Right, so let's answer some questions first. Obviously, on our mail section that we started at the top of the show, and we've ingeniously called it. Well, I've ingeniously called it. No one helped us. Mail motherfucker.
Mail motherfucker.
It's got Mr. T's voice in the intro music, man. You can't go wrong with that, can you? Yeah, I just stole it off that fucking, what do you call it? That sex trip fucking comedy when he goes mail motherfucker. I just pinched it up there. It's just a little soundbite. So.
Oh, I kind of can remember that now, but I can't remember exactly what movie that is, but that is now just went into my brain.
It's called Sex Road Trip or something, I don't know. It's not Road...
Sex Drive.
Sex Drive, that's the one. That's the one, because one of them's dressed as a fucking donut now, isn't he?
Yes, uh-huh.
And they keep...
I really like that.
And someone stuck a pair of balls on it and that. I know, I liked it, I thought it was a good film, that.
Nah, it's crap.
It's always hard to top the American Pies and the American sex comedies, but that was actually quite decent, that.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm going to watch that again. That's years old, isn't it? Is that 2002 or something?
Oh, I don't know. I'm shy with it, but it was definitely back then with like road trip and stuff like that.
Right, so our first email is someone from Ashley Parker, and he or she, because it's a girl and a man's name, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hi guys, love the show. I just wanted to know where you get all your ideas from for Nerd Pervert. Season 8 has been a great season, and it's been great so far, with the intro of 3 nerds and of course a new cast member with Chris Cummins. What I want to ask is, what comes first for the scene, the idea or the casting? How do you keep it going for as long as you have and still push the story forward? And finally, what is everyone's favourite part of Nerd Pervert by all who is involved? Fucking hell.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to let you answer that one.
Well, most of it, but you can tell me your favourite bit. Well, basically, most of the time, I've got an idea for a story first. I've got stories for season 9 that's jotted down in note form, but not fleshed out because, you know, we're not shooting it yet. But, you know, we start that in January again, season 9 straight away. We only get a couple of weeks off, so we fucking usually work all year round on it. In rare cases, I've got someone in mind first, and the story comes just by having a video chat with them, which I insist on doing all the time now, because then you get, if it's someone you don't know anyway, just to get an idea of the personality, because if you've got an idea for a shy girl and she's really bubbly and in your face, then that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I don't like people to act too much. A lot of the stuff that we do is like, we like to pull on people's natural personality, so if someone's bubbly and forward, it would have to be a character that's quite full on. And then if it's someone who's really shy, then it's someone my character and your character now could con.
Yeah.
So sometimes, most of the time, it is the story first, and then I have to find the right person for it. And I already know what story I'm going to do, so I know who I'm casting in that role. And how do I keep it interlinked? Just watching my own stuff over and over, because, like, if I'm getting someone back, I've got to look at the old episodes, because I do get letters when I slip up and make mistakes. So I like to familiarise with where it last left off and what were the main beats of the story. But sometimes we interlink it by a fluke, like to the vein of used to, who probably think I'm a pain in the ass. Sometimes at the last minute, I'll work out how to link it into another episode, and that requires something called a reshoot. That I think you hate that word. So
I don't mind the reshoots.
So sometimes it just it's sometimes organically and sometimes it's well planned. But I'm not going to lie and say that it's all part of my ingenious plan where it's all thought out for the entire year, because it's not. The slightest model that we could shoot next year could totally tip the season in another direction if it's like a really strong story point what you can jump off with other episodes starring models. So you just have to sort of see how it's evolving. But isn't that what Nerd Pervert is? It's more natural and laid back, so why shouldn't the planning of it be?
Thing is that you're not the only one who comes up with the ideas, though. I have
No,
as
you
well.
come up with the ideas as well, yeah. Well, you probably still will, because even though you're leaving the show, you're not fucking off altogether. You're going to be on the podcast, so
yeah, I'm still going to be.
You know, if I say to you, "Oh, Scarlett, this is what we've been doing in season 9."
I'm still here on set and stuff. Usually,
well, that's what I'm
with
saying.
meeting the models. That's one of my favourite parts, is meeting like the new models
like
and stuff.
Yeah. But like I say, I will say to you, "Oh, we've just done this in season 9." And you're like, "Oh, well, I'll tell you how you could follow that up." So you'll still be involved.
Yeah.
It's just you're not being a main character anymore. The thing is, you're not totally gone yet. It's like you might never totally go. You might want to keep popping up just every now and again, because every now and again isn't all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, you could still be a guest star.
I could. Ooh.
So what was the last part? What you two can answer? That was actually quite short for me, that. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know
still
what?
took
That
a
wasn't
while.
too bad.
Yeah. What's your favourite part,
of
though?
Nerd Pervert? What's your
of
favourite
like the whole
part?
shoot.
Obviously, don't
stuff.
say shagging, because that's obvious, isn't it?
It's the contract,
well, yeah, I mean, that is obvious. No, like, my favourite part is, it's the fact that it feels like there's a lot more to it, and that's what I like about it. Like, it's not just come here, do this, like, shag this, lass, go home. And it's like, come here, right, why are we here? Like, why are we doing this entire scene? Like, what's the story behind it? And that's the thing that I like about Nerd Pervert. You know, it's like everything kind of interlinks. There's always a reason why he's like kind of conning these women and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like this is just a lot more interesting. It's a lot more engaging for the person watching it.
You're part of that as well now. You're saying he cons the women, you're doing it now as well, so you have to include yourself in on that now as well.
Yeah, I suppose, but it's still a way off.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to though is the fact that we will be shooting those type of scenes like literally January onwards all next year.
Yeah.
It's just obviously things get shot in advance, so we'll know that we're doing it, but the audience might not see it obviously straight away. However, what I'm looking forward to is what organic stories are going to come out of that he hasn't got Scarlett's conscience anymore.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's going to be the dangerous part, isn't it?
And you're going to egg him on.
Dynamic.
Yeah, you're going to egg him on. So, like, is he going to be worse?
Depraved.
Are you going to make him worse? Is he going to make you worse? You know, like, will Chris Cummins knock the swinging on the head a little bit because he just knows he can get Paul's bitches that he gets in?
Well, yeah, I mean, a little behind the scenes, but yeah, that definitely seems to already be happening a bit, doesn't it?
Aye, exactly.
Like, the nerd character definitely is corrupting Chris a little bit.
Yeah. But I tell you what I quite like, though, the fact that when you were first introduced, he was jealous of you.
Yeah.
Because you could get women, and he has to lie to get women, and I think he always wished, like, surely if he didn't have to go to all that effort, he wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, he's like sort of, because he's realised that you are exactly like him, he can now get your hand-me-downs and you can get in on his shoot. So it's like a mutual friendship now that seems to have overtaken him and Craig have been friends since nursery.
Pretty much, like.
Ooh, you've been wiggling your way in.
Aye.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Devious.
Alright. So what's your favourite part then?
Well, I did just say.
Did you?
Yeah, I said that I really enjoyed meeting the models,
Alright.
and as he says, it is part of the story. But I think obviously just helping produce like a good version at the end. And
well, I'll tell you what's nice, like this far in, that like for me it's nerve-wracking that we're changing it, not much and subtly, but we are changing it. And you think, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it, because does lightning strike twice? Yet every producer I've shown the dailies to of what we've done recently have said, I don't know how you've done it, but you've reinvented it again without it being totally different, and this would have worked the first time around as well. I mean, we'll never know, you know, because obviously it was the other way when we first started, but I also like the fact that every time you shoot something and you edit it and you hit that render button, you know you're doing it for people who are waiting to see it.
Yeah.
So that makes all the painstaking hours of putting it together worth it, because you have got an audience. You know, which is why in the beginning, when it was a bit of a slow burner, you were like, fucking hell, it's too much work for what I think it should be and what it actually is. And it took 3 seasons to really take off, but I'm pleased I stuck with it, because, you know, I could have fucking just went back to just normal casting videos with a blurred face. And, like, everyone's doing that, aren't they? So, you know.
Well, they are.
Right, so second email. We've only got 2 this week because we haven't got any more embarrassing sex stories, but I don't think we've ever had any, have we? Because
not a proper one.
That
No.
one was not.
I don't think they get
embarrassing at
what
all.
we mean, do we? Really? So this one's from Porn Lover 69. Right.
Yeah.
Says, hi team, great show last week. Man, they get longer and longer. Last week I had to listen to it on the way to work, on the way back from work, and when I got in the house it was that long. But it was still fun. My question to Scarlett is, why are you leaving the show, and what led you to your character arc coming to an end? I mean, I haven't really discussed this with you yet, really why I see it ending. I've briefly said, but why do you think? Without me telling you.
The way that the story's sort of gone with us is that obviously, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's more along the lines of people expect us to do a shoot, and that I have to be in front of the camera from now on, because people are getting either annoyed or they're waiting for this to happen. And obviously at the moment I'm not thinking of going in front of the camera, So it's
So some people think you're leaving for a reason, you know. People think you're going to get your own fucking website. And shit. I think people think we've been spending a year filming it and we're just not announcing it until it fucking goes live. So is that true, Scarlett? Have you sneakily been just shagging all these random blokes up and down the country and you've got someone else filming it? I don't know, because fucking...
I would have to debunk them theories, I'm sorry to say, but no, I haven't been shagging about.
But do you think also... But it's not just that. It's a fact that, like, how long will she put up with it, knowing that now a lot of people are starting to find out that he's a con man, because models in the story have been coming forward.
Yeah.
So she's starting to worry about her future, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She thinks that
she doesn't want to go down with him.
If he gets really found out, then she's going to have either no place to live, she'll have no income or anything like that. So basically she's thinking of her own future, as well as the fact that she wants to improve on the stuff that she's already learnt and become a bit more professional and being able to go into the wide world instead of just doing porn. So she wants to grow and expand her knowledge and everything like that. So yeah.
Well, I suppose from a creative point of view, for me and you, in terms of, you know, the show itself, is the fact that how long can you flog a dead horse? Like, not even you performing coming into it, just how long can we just have her going, I can't believe you're doing that. Every time I think you're going to do something, you know, like she's nagging him constantly.
Exactly.
Because she's like, can't believe how far we'll go to get fucking sex. And you're like...
See, that's the thing, I can't really change to, oh, go on, get in there and fuck her harder and all that type of stuff, because it's a complete turnaround from what I've always been like with them.
Exactly, so you can't really change your character. I
can't change it in that regard, so then where do we go from there?
Exactly, yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? So...
Yep.
It's just a natural progression for us to sort of be leaving.
Yep.
Well, I really can't believe that it's time to go. It's upon me already. I can't believe it. I've had some really good times here, and I mean, like, I've had a lot of fun shooting all these different girls and just like the escapades that we've got up to. It has been a good time while we've been here. But Paul's Paul, isn't he, really? Well, what can I really say about Paul? He's really out to get what he can get, really, isn't he? He's all about the pussy. So it's like, he does steer clear of relationships, and I do worry that's going to be a lonely life for him. However, his pervertedness will never allow him to be lonely, won't it?
Moving on to the wonderful world of the adult industry, what has been going down? Right, it seems to be all fucking sex toy stories that's coming out lately. So this is
that's good for me.
Well, yeah, well that's the thing, because these are American sex toys, so you don't know if it's going to jump the pond and whether they're going to end up on your shelf. So, Fun Factory has revealed the Mantra vibrating stroker. Is that you stretching, or are you saying you've heard of it?
I already have
a
wide range of Fun Factory in my shop.
Well, it reckons this is describes it as a men's toy for couples, right?
All right, yeah.
Mantra can be used during intercourse to add vibration to the user's penis, as well as a BJ tool. It can also be used for solo play with a design that circulates the penis with deep vibration. Its ridges hold lube in place for an easier glide, and it wings transmission vibration. Toys for men are often large, unattractive, and awkward to use with a partner, said Christian Tribley, global head of marketing at Fun Factory. The mantra is sleek, powerful, and designed with couples in mind. The vibrating mantra ray shape isn't for the better cleavage. What the fuck? Is that you watching a video on it? Are you watching an advert?
I was, yeah.
So better coverage from the cleft to the centre also enhance the power of the motor, adding movement to the vibration. It offers 6 speeds and 6 vibration patterns, is waterproof, will have to if you go a fucking squirter, and features an ergonomic shape to easily control where the vibration is applied. And the mantra retails for $139. So I can't even picture what that looks like. So if you've got that up on your phone, James. Alright, so your cock goes at the top then?
Yeah.
I hope it expands, so like if you have a thicker cock, it'll still go in.
Ooh. Say everyone can't see this, we're being a fucking podcast, but James is actually on the other side of this webcam. He's got a picture of it.
It's sort of like a pole with like a hole cut out at the end, with like the edges surrounding your cock type of thing. That's how I could describe it anyway. And then you can drag it up and down the cock and everything.
So do you...
It looks canny. We don't specifically have this one.
This sounds like it's new though. It's newly launched like this month or something. So
yeah, it tends to be like kind of when we start selling out of our ones, they start sending in the newer stock. So I'd imagine we'll probably get that because I think Private Shops might be actually the only chain that actually gets it in the UK.
Would you use
because
it?
They've got their own shop, Fun Factory, down in London.
Would you use it?
Do you know what? I would probably try because I have actually I've used some of the. There's a Fun Factory toy for men called Cobra Libre, and that it's like 125 quid. It's ridiculously expensive, and I thought that would be shit because it doesn't look all that like. It's basically like it's about the size of your hand. It's got a hole in the end, and you basically lube up the hole, and you put the tip of your penis inside it. You turn it on, and it'll like vibrate, and then you just kind of like twist it round a little bit. And I thought that would be just rubbish. But then I actually tried one, and I must have came literally in about 30 seconds. Like it is. I've never felt a sensation quite like it. So from then, I always trust what Fun Factory do. Like, they really do make really good feeling toys.
Oh my god, I've just realised Fun Factory's your Apple of sex toys, aren't they?
It is. Fun Factory, without doubt, the top of the line toys that we sell.
Oh god, the expensive ones, basically.
Yeah, they are very expensive. But do you know what? It's like, you pay the money, and you know you get the good product, like they're much better than anything else I've seen. So I would trust that.
So if you being the manager of like one of the shops, do you get advanced, like not advanced testing of them, but do you get like emails or faxes or whatever from management saying, right, this is the latest craze, it's just come into the country, we're one of the first retailers to get the license to stock this, so you know, have a look at it before it goes on the shelf, sort of thing? Like, do you ever have these get-togethers with management where you're like, right, this is fucking gonna be the bee's knees and that?
Nah, sadly, like we don't really get that. It's our relationship with Fun Factory is kind of direct with Fun Factory, and because our shop does quite well selling the Fun Factory, they kind of just automatically send us the new stuff when we need new stuff. Like every now and again, we'll have someone come down from Fun Factory, and then they'll kind of like explain what some of the new toys are, and like ask us what we think would sell well in like each of the shops, because obviously every shop's kind of got a different target audience. Like no two shops are the same. So yeah, and it's like a bit of a two-way street with that. But now, like, the reason I was able to use that other one, like, we're not just allowed to test these toys or anything. Like, I actually got that toy because everyone was going on about how good it was, and I thought, there's no way it can be as good as people are saying, because the way it looked, I was like, it can't be good. And we get a ridiculous discount because we can get it for cost. So that really ridiculously high price point suddenly becomes a lot lower for someone like me. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Why not? I mean, that's why I've got like a flashlight, because I wanted to see what that was like. Because I feel like I can't sell something as well if I've never experienced it, like coming from like kind of the male perspective on male toys.
See, so that goes back to why they hired you, because they said you look like a pervert who would come into the shop and all half.
Well, yeah, like pretty much. But the thing is, like, even though the hired is thinking, oh, you look like a bit of a pervert who would come in these shops, I'm the person who pretty much sells the most out of like a lot of this stuff, and like I'm literally their best shop in the entire chain. And I think it's because I actually take this on and I try to like kind of understand the products a little bit more, so that I'm naturally better at selling them.
Well, you always hit your bonuses, so yeah.
Exactly. So
that's quality, that, like. That's nice to know.
Now the question is, do your friends get bonuses off products?
Well, being a shop manager, I absolutely can give the odd discount out to certain people. I've told you, if you want something on the cheap, I'll sort you out.
Cool.
Yeah, see, and that's the bonus of having a housemate who works in a fucking sex shop, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right, so I just want to take this opportunity to tell you about itsadult.com, a one-stop shop for the adult industry, networking events, news, interviews, podcasts, a message forum. You can you can sell clips, you can phone, text or chat, all on your profile. It's a directory for the adult business and the general public are welcome to. You can sign up to the site, have a phone chat or book a webcam session with someone, or even buy models, video clips directly from their stores on itsadult.com. So for everyone, general and industry, sign up today because your profile is free. Of course it is. You know what I mean? You can't fucking charge anything these days for profiles. Right, so we need to go into Dick's tips with Dick Salacious to find out what he's got for us this fucking week. Because even I don't know until he fucking gets on. So let's find out.
Welcome to Dick's Tips from salaciouscreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
Right, now, we've had a few emails to say where the fuck were we last week, but we've all had a week off because, we've done about nearly 9 shows in a row now, so we just thought we deserved it, and we like to make our audience miss us and make our audience our bitch. So obviously, people's probably wondering, well, I've been fucking stuck with all my technology for a week because a certain someone hasn't been here to help. But the good news is, Mr. Dick Salacious at Salacious Creations is right here, right now, to help you. So are you there, Dick?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. You all right?
I'm not so bad, I'm not so bad. So what have you been up to? Like, you've just been saving the world one computer at a time?
Yeah, I'm fucking trying to save the fucking UK with my amateur political pundit fucking quotes. Oh, yes, he is.
I'll tell you what, mate, we've had some more emails about more people buying up them little form factor PCs that you suggested.
Yeah, quite a few people are buying them now. I need to get a move on because I need to get 2 myself now.
Yeah,
I need another. I need another 2.
Yeah, can you imagine if like they sold out and it was all because of your advice and everyone else who's listened to the podcast beat you to it?
Yeah, you bastards. Make sure I can still get 2 of them at least, all right? I don't mind you buying them, but just leave me 2. That's all I ask.
Isn't that weird though? Like all the great advice that you give people over the coming weeks, and it's like that seems to be the most popular. I wonder if that's the most easiest one for people to dissect so far, or is it just that? Do you think people like a bargain?
Every fucker likes a bargain, and as soon as you say i7, fucking they know it's a bargain, like, you know.
Well, it's a fucking dual core isn't the fucking bargain, is it?
No, you can still get dual core. You can get an i3 that can smoke an i7.
Have you seen the latest MacBook Air by Apple? It used to be their entry level student based laptop, so in other words the most affordable, cheapest Mac. It's now over £1,000 and it's still got a dual core processor in. Daylight fucking robbery.
Oh, I don't know, innit? After the government did all that shit to us, mate, only the rich people can afford to send their kids to fucking university, innit? So of course they can afford £1,000 fucking laptop and hand jobs for all.
Say if they threw in the free hand job, it might be worth the money.
Yeah, you get a free hooker with every purchase. That's Apple's new marketing slogan.
That's where every tax fiddle the music into fucking Ireland, is it?
Yeah, fucking, it may as well be, innit?
So, Dick, what have you got for us this week? Because obviously, I never know either. So it's like, is it something I need to know? Is it just something our audience needs to know? So what is it?
Well, basically, it depends what sort of messages I get, like, so a top heavy tat sends me a fucking message. If I get a few of them, well, I get a lot of questions about this, so I'll stick with that for the next one. So this week it's going to be internet connections, bam, 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 and networking equipment.
Well, that's going to help. That's going to help the lower models because the lower models out there webcam as well as model, and some models just webcam.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be quite unpopular, some of the shit I'm going to say tonight, but it needs to be said, mate.
Okay, so fire away then.
All right then. So basically, I mean, nobody in this day and age should be on dial-up anymore. If anybody remembers that. So basically, nobody's on that. However, the original webcam girls did start on that with a big, a teeny tiny little like 3x2 fucking screen. That was good enough for the birth of the industry. So obviously we had ISDN then, which took you with two connections up to 128 kilobits a second, and things were suddenly starting to improve.
Yeah.
Now these two technologies are way, way obsolete now. If you are using one of these, like move, simple as that. If you are using one of these, you are literally in a hamlet 100 miles away from the nearest village, let alone town. So obviously we're not really going to go down to that level. But there will be a little bit of a touch upon later on as I finish my talk. So we obviously have three main things in the UK. We have ADSL, we have fiber, and we have actual fiber optic. Okay. Now, obviously, ADSL is the typical one you get through your copper lines, where you get a shit upload, maybe say half meg to 1 meg max.
Right.
Because in the UK, even though ADSL had the potential to have, like, say, 10 down and 10 up, that never happened for any of us, okay? So if you have got ADSL, chances are you've only got a 250 kilobit a second upload speed. Because in this industry, it's not about your download speeds, it's all about your upload speeds, okay? So ADSL, yes, you could possibly get away with a really, really low quality webcam product for yourself. Some sites actually have a browser plugin. They actually have a setting on there for DSL, 192 kilobits a second. You're not going to rank anywhere amazing on that sort of connection because a lot of sites rank you on the quality of your gear and how strong your connection actually is. Moving on from that, okay, if you are using ADSL, obviously, if you can get fiber, it will pay for itself because obviously the quality jump that you're making, because you could be going from a 1 meg upload to a 15 meg upload or an 8 meg upload. I think yours is 8, isn't it?
Mine's 10 actually. Funny enough,
Oh,
9 or 10. Yeah.
You suck off for that.
Tell you what, it was fucking worth it though.
Yeah, it makes a hell of a difference, doesn't it? So ideally, you want to be aiming for at least a 5 meg upload. Okay, that's even if you are working on something as lowly as adult work. I mean, we are a bit bad on adult work, what we say, but it is correct until they start, upping their game a little bit.
Well, yeah, but the thing is now they've got like Mark Hassel on board, and he is trying to change things. Maybe it needs somebody like him to hear these things to improve, because it's not really a kick in the bollocks. It's just a professional, constructive criticism, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Christ, they need to get away from that just cam it encoder. I mean, we've even had girls who are part of groups that work on that site come forward and say, I've been told to download Windows on my Apple. That isn't the way you do it, people. Get yourself a fucking proper PC and fucking do it that way. But my point towards this is now the people who are using Macs in slow speeds can't actually activate all the green lights on adult work. Now, that's because they're either using a browser plugin to run it, which will only take them up to 1.5 megabit a second. This is all about your upload speeds, as I was saying. And if you can go above up to the 1.5, obviously that lights up all the, it gives you access to the Android market, it gives you access to the iPhone market and the tablet market, as well as the PC market. So that expands your adult work by 4 different markets, which is why it's worth to jump the fiber. Or if you have Virgin in your area, make the jump to fiber optic. I mean, those bastards have got 300 megabit a second uploads.
I fucking wish I know a certain soy boy who gets that, and he's only 17 fucking mile away from me, the cunt.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fair, but we got to work with what we got. I'm not going to go into depth on how you tune a connection or anything like that, like, because that is a bit too much for the type of listeners that we're attracting. So, but yeah, those are your 2 main markets: is VDSL, aka fiber to cabinet, copper to the house. You can get up to 70 meg download, and you can get up to a 20 meg upload on those services. Obviously, Virgin would be the best. However, there is a drawback to Virgin. If everybody has Virgin in your street and you're all on 300 meg, you're all sharing that 300 meg. So if you've got somebody who's a constant streamer, they're going to be robbing your speed from you because the street is busy. Whereas you don't really get that sort of problem then on a VDSL connection.
So why is that then? Is it just them not putting enough points in the nearest village, say, if Virgin Media suddenly have like a connection in that area, or?
It's to do with a loop. So basically, ADSL used to get this problem. So there's a loop, and there's only so many people they can fit on a loop. If you had a new one, you're at the bottom of the loop. So they
Right.
might advertise a 300 megabit a second speed, but if your next door neighbor is constantly downloading torrents, streaming, gigabytes a day of like 4K pixel perfect soy boy footage.
Yep.
Sorry, James. I love you, really. I really do. It just can't help it. But no, it's that's going to slow down the connection, okay? And a lot of girls over in America, because in the UK, we're not really fortunate enough to have a Google gigabit connection yet. They do exist, but they are very expensive. And unless you're going to go for a full business class pipe, you're not going to be able to get that. So you can forget about that. It's just not worth it for your webcam market.
Well, I know the UK isn't as bad as some countries, but I must admit the UK government doesn't invest nowhere near the money that they should in the internet connections, because even now, there's some parts of the country that's got abysmal internet connections. I mean, I've only got a 33 meg one, but at least it's better than some people.
Yeah, well, basically, back in the 70s, while Thatcher was still in power, British Telecom did actually want to roll out fiber optic cable throughout the UK. But because of the monopoly market that would have created, she sold the fiber optic network then to the Americans to bring them in to deprivatize British Telecom to create competition. If that hadn't happened, we would all be on fiber optic to the house by now. We're all with like maybe 5 gigabit a second internet connections.
Woo!
So it goes to show that like decisions that weren't understood in the past have had a big effect on us in the future.
I'll tell you what, I've never liked Maggie Thatcher anyway, so...
Well, that was it. Apparently it cost like 200 million to bury her. I think Frankie Boyle said for 200 million you could pay the Scottish people to dig a hole and hand her over to Satan themselves, like. So yeah, it's sorry, it's because I've been watching fucking the news all day.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, fucking hell, innit? But I reckon I'll be proven right by the end of it. So you now have your great internet connection, okay? So we've talked about this before, about the quality that you can stream at. So if you do have a 5 meg connection, feel free to obviously ramp up your settings on your webcam sites, okay? Now, on adult work, I think 1.5 megabit a second is the highest you can go, and the highest quality you can go is 720p. However, I would never suggest to anybody using 720p under 2 megabit a second. So you're literally missing 500 megabits a second to get that nice TV quality. All right. So obviously keep to around about 800 times 600 mode, and that'll give you a nice, really clear picture. And funnily enough, Chatterbait actually class 800 by 600 as a HD picture. All right. So now you've got some sort of idea of the speeds that you actually need. We need to talk about how you're actually going to fucking use it. Now, the amount of phone calls I get, and it's literally a case of, well, my internet picture's shit. You know, why is it shit? I got a great internet connection, and everybody's moaning that my picture's jumpy, that type of thing. Well, I'm going to say this, right? You need to listen to this because I know that fucking pink laptop looks awfully cute with the Hello Kitty logo on, right? And it's really portable because you got it on the Wi-Fi. But you need to stop using your fucking Wi-Fi.
Chuck it in the fucking wheelie bin.
Yeah, chuck it in the fucking wheelie bin if you're just going to use it on Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is not as good as a good old-fashioned 50 pence a fucking meter cable, right? Now, this ginger bastard has his entire house wired up now. What's the difference?
Well, put it this way. Not one dropout, not one slowdown in speed. Downloads are faster, uploads are faster for me American partners when I release an episode of Nerd Pervert. Just everything. I mean, I could go on, but everything.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you're probably wondering, but Wi-Fi speeds are advertised as this, and Wi-Fi speeds are advertised as that. It doesn't work that way. Those speeds are advertised under the most optimal laboratory conditions that you can ever imagine.
Well, they're trying to make it, well, not illegal, but they're trying to bring them up for not trying to make it sound that good when it probably 90% of the time isn't.
Yeah, it's like, for example, you can make a Faraday cage, which is like a big aluminium bag, if you don't know what a Faraday cage is, and having two Wi-Fi access points and they're talking to each other. Now, a Faraday cage basically isolates radio. So if you're in London and some fucker on a scooter grabs you and takes your phone, they're going to throw it in a Faraday bag because the IBAN number or IPIN number or something like that can't be traced then because obviously it's got radio silence inside the bag. That's the sort of conditions that they test these devices under to put those nice big numbers out on the box that you're going to fall for. So always use a cable. Anything more or less modern is going to have a gigabit connection. And you haven't lived until you've seen a file transfer across your network at 100 megabytes a second, rather than 3 megabytes a second down at 100 megabit a second. Okay.
I'll tell you what, it didn't take long for me to download that private file that you sent us.
Yeah, exactly. It goes really quick, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I reckon it was done in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So this is why I encourage people to use wires. And yes, they are inconvenient. And for a renter, it can be a fucking nightmare. But the wires will work up to 100 meters on a Cat 6. Those are the sort of standards you're looking at. So you've got a direct wire connection to your computer or your laptop straight into your router, okay? And then that should cure all the jumpy, stuttering bollocks that's going on with your Wi-Fi connection, okay? Wi-Fi is great for a mobile phone, but Wi-Fi is rubbish for when you're actually trying to broadcast yourself. There's a reason why gamers don't use Wi-Fi, and there's a reason why webcam girls and people who are actually serious about their stuff in this business shouldn't be using the Wi-Fi.
Well, I'll tell you what, that sounds like literally very good advice and common sense. You know, it's so simple that people should know that already. But how do you justify the technology companies that don't put Ethernet ports in laptops anymore? Like, are they just literally making a laptop for the coffee shop user?
That's the coffee shop light user who isn't streaming, okay? And, I mean, they're not even putting freaking headphone jacks in phones anymore, are they?
No.
Just so they can go thinner because they're down to that sort of thickness. Like,
and they're not supplying the adapter, the fucking wankers.
No, exactly. Do you know what I use my Wi-Fi on my phone to read the news while I'm having a shit?
That's all
my Wi-Fi gets used for.
That's all everybody does. In fact, I'm using my phone longer than it takes us to have a bowel movement. I forget sometime to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, when you get the dead leg syndrome, innit? You're walking on like a fucking zombie in the fucking toilet, like.
Yeah.
But you're not even sure if you've wiped your ass because your blower half so fucking numb. So there we have it. I know you can get these things that work through the electricity ports in your house, so you can plug one in at one end of the house and one in the other. However, they're not as good as you think.
Do not get one of them. Do not get one of them, right? I'm talking from first-hand experience, pulling down 4K video from a server to my local machine and editing like that, and it just kept cutting out. Now, I had problems with my internet connection, which I won't go into here, but it was a combination of that, which TalkTalk gladly fixed because I've got a business line, and a combination of those power line adapters.
Yeah. So basically, the power line adapters, because you're running it through electrical signals, it causes interference in the signal, which causes errors, and it makes the router think I need to reboot because I've received X amount of errors. Now, is it worth having your own router, or is it worth sticking with one of those free bits of shit that the fucking ISPs give you? Now, for things like Virgin, it's sort of, as far as I'm aware, it's quite locked down their network. But for things like TalkTalk, BT, Sky, you can get your own router when you're on fibre, a VDSL router for around about £40 to £80, all the way up to about £350.
Yeah, that was part of your consultancy with my business to recommend one of them, and I'm really happy with it. Like,
well, yeah, we got a dual core router running now versus the shit that fucking, BT you were with, wasn't it, when we first started the investigation?
and Mr. Dick Salacious even used me old shitty BT router after I fucked him off and went to another company as a Wi-Fi access point for upstairs. This is the type of shit that he can offer for very reasonable rates.
Yeah, definitely. Believe it or not, I actually have a sub network in my house. It's all through the cables, as always. So if you visit us to shoot, basically you'll be given a username and password for the Wi-Fi. However, you can't actually access any of my files on my network. It keeps it all private. So you get a nice internet experience, but it means you can't steal any of my fucking shit. Like,
That's
get off my fucking lawn. I make people very welcome when they're here, but obviously, they're taking all the files off my fucking server. I draw the fucking line at, like.
Yeah, you can take everything. You can take his wife, but fucking leave his fucking Cat 5 alone.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's it. I've got I got one in here that I'm talking to you on now. That I got another access point on. I got two downstairs. I got one in the living room, and I got two CCTV networks as well, all on the Wi-Fi. So I got multiple access points, and you're probably thinking, what's the point in that? Especially if you live in London. Well, in Wales, we have gardens. They're these big things that you can actually go outside. It's like your own little space outside.
Yeah, your garden's now on the fucking roof of a skyscraper.
Yeah, it's actually down at ground level, you see. So I like to be able to use my Wi-Fi about 100 meters away from the house.
It's got real grass and real dog shit.
Yeah, it's got real dog shit from my fucking little bastard dog. But no, that's my point, is you can do a lot with your old gear. It's very relevant, but for your main connection, you're never going to get more stable than your own custom router with your own settings in versus the free ones with your ISP. They might tell you they're worth $89.99, but you get that for free when you join us. Well, I'm not being fucking funny now. I wouldn't spend £200 on a fucking router and use that fucking thing, would I? So
Well,
I'm always going to stick with something that's going to let me use my own shit.
Well, one thing you learnt me when I was with BT before I moved to TalkTalk, when we were trying to get that route to work, and the one that you recommended, we'd exhausted every possible thing, and it took a hell. I mean, obviously you sorted it in the end, as you always do, but sometimes it's a lot of fault finding, and you've got to go through one wall to get through another, and gradually break it down till you finally eliminate the problem, which obviously you did, as always. But the BT router, if you're a BT customer, you also have access to the BT phone, and the BT phone is literally somebody else's router that you can use with your BT username and password to get in. So I didn't like that idea that I was paying for my connection, but a random fucking knobhead could walk past the house, and if he's a BT customer, he could be using some of my bandwidth. As soon as I found that out, and you told me that you could easily configure your own custom router to lock them out, so all you use your router for is to log onto their servers and authenticate your account, I was all in.
Yeah, exactly. It works really well. I hope it does anyway.
No, it does. Excellent. Yep.
It's priceless being able to watch YouTube in bed, isn't it?
It's fucking amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. But no, so there you have it, people. Always use a wire. If you can, use your own router. And always make sure you're either on a fiber connection or you're on a fiber optic Virgin connection, okay? So, as I said, there's pluses and minuses to all of it. However, it does actually help you a great deal. Obviously, get the most stable product for yourself. Okay.
Right, well, Dick, I must admit, right, I reckon that was as useful, if not more, than some of the previous episodes, because, like, even that wasn't really anything about the business. That was just literally helping people with good internet connections. And if you happen to be a webcammer or someone who does content creation and needs faster upload speeds and stuff like that, it's all useful information in terms of the speed. So, cheers for that.
Yeah, it's always going to be about the widest audience we possibly can reach. Because obviously, as you said, we've had YouTubers get back to you, and they've gone and bought some of the computers that we've suggested. So yeah, it's we try to make it as versatile as possible. It's down to you if you listen. As I said, you don't have to listen, but if you do listen, your life's going to get better.
Definitely. Right, well, Dick, we'll see you next time on Dick's Tips, and thank you very much again, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub, but I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. Amazing, eh? Absolutely amazing.
As always.
It always makes sense though. It's weird how, like, when he explains it to you, you do understand where he's coming from. Even though it's, you know, can go into some very detailed explanations. And again, this is still his simple stuff. We haven't touched on the complicated stuff yet.
I know, Christ.
I think he's even gonna. He talked about in future episodes. I don't know how soon this is gonna be, like building your own Linux NAS server out of a fucking computer tower and installing free NAS on it and shit and everything like that. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
Like, I think even that's beginning to get a little bit beyond me. Like,
Yeah.
I kind
I'll be
of
completely
did my
lost.
own NAS, but that was like doing a bit of a weird hack job. This seems to be going like a step beyond that. So,
Or speaking of a hack job, you know Synology, whether it's an official Synology box or not. You use the Synology OS, right?
I do. Yes.
I've was in the middle of editing today, and then all of a sudden everything just packed in, and I went downstairs and I've got a bad sector on disk 3, so I've just ordered another one from Amazon.
Okay.
So the last time that happened, it did a consistency check where it starts from 0 and goes up to 100, and then tells you how many bad sectors. So it is one thing I love about Synology. It's an early warning, and it could probably go for months and months and be fine. But the point is, I like to swap them out as soon as it gets one of them, because sometimes you can wipe the drive, and just off wiping the drive completely takes away all the bad sectors on the disk. So at the minute, it's doing a check. I've had to pack in for the day and watch YouTube all day. It's been a nightmare, right?
No.
But, you know, it's been like that since about 2 in the afternoon or something, but it's just nice to be able to have the chance to get one next day delivery. Well, actually, it's coming Thursday, so it's a couple of days' time, but never mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to get it, and then obviously once you put it in, it just rebuilds itself. You know, if that was a normal spinning hard drive, you get no warning. So
No.
that's nice to know, isn't it? Now, the only worrying thing I've got when I'm rebuilding my NAS, I've only got for one disk drive fault. So should one go down while it's rebuilding, fuck are you? Aye. So.
But how big is your NAS?
It's about 20 terabytes.
Oh yeah, that'll take a canny while to rebuild.
Yeah. Well, it took a full weekend last time. I had to rebuild it in August because disc 1 went. It's a 5 bay, so disc 1 went. That's been replaced in August, and that's been lasted 7 years. The last one, because the Western Digital NAS red drive, so they built to be turned on all the time. Yeah. And now disc 3's gone, so that's leaving 2 and 4 and 5.
See, like that's bad crack. I have had this NAS I've got now for probably about the same amount of time. Like, actually, no, I think I probably had it more, like maybe 8-9 years, and it's never once had an error. And I've never had like the actual NAS drives. I've always just getting like Seagate drives that are in the enclosures, and then I just like crack the enclosures out, and then take those drives.
But the only
Because
difference
it's
is
always the cheapest way to get them.
the only difference with what I do and what you do is you're using it just for data storage. I'm
True.
constantly pulling files down into Premiere, reading off the discs continuously while you're editing and saving it back. So there's a difference between a hard drive spinning because it's on and spinning because you're reading and writing on it all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it speeds up even faster than the internal fan has to kick in. So, so 7 years is good considering I pushed the fuck out of them with 4K video. You know what I mean?
That is actually impressive. Like.
So yeah, but I was straight on the fucking DM the dick just in case. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I've never heard of a UCF error. It was a bad sector last time. Was that more serious? And he was like,
well,
yeah,
it's
it
like
is
the
actually.
last time he proper sorted you out, didn't he?
Oh, aye, big star. That's why he's...
Like, I wouldn't have known to say what he said the last time.
Well, exactly, but that's why his service, Salacious Creations, is a good service for the adult industry to use, for mainstream as well.
Yeah.
But adult industry, because he knows his fucking shit and he can sort you out anything you want and his rates are reasonable. Plus, you've got to remember that because he's in the adult industry, he's going to be careful with your data. I mean, you can't really take a broken NAS into PC World, can you? Because it's dodgy. Because it's got loads of fucking
true.
tits and fucking squirting and bukakis on it, you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful, haven't you? Right, so more industry news now. Evil Angel have just announced today that Chief Financial Officer Adam Grayson is leaving the company to pursue new career opportunities. Grayson will continue to serve as a consultant in the near term, the studio said. The universe is a big place and it's filled with many opportunities. I've been here for 10 years this month and it seemed like it was the right time. Evil Angel founder John Stagliano has taken over day-to-day operations with the help of his chief officer and his vice senior president. Evil Angel will continue its tradition of treating creative and business partners with integrity while upholding our standard of edgy, artistic, real sex, the studio said. Grayson joined Evil Angel in 2008 to help lead the financial and technology side of Evil Angel. Grayson was handpicked by the late Evil Angel general manager Christian Mann initially as an intern replacement for head of its online operation after selling sexstream.com, which ran for about 12 years. On his first day at work, Grayson received word that he was accepted into the UCLA Anderson School of Management. He later earned an MBA, which later would help him guide the company with prudent decision-making. Right out of the gate, Grayson helped transition operations of the studio's websites to Grammar Entertainment and had a hand in repositioning the brand during the Great Recession. During the global financial crisis, Evil Angel was forced to grow up, which was, in retrospect, probably the best thing that could have happened to us, Grayson said. No one likes to talk about change. I, however, like to call it disruption, said Grayson, who explained how Stagliano too knows about disruption. His first disruption was the ownership model. Grayson said he believed deeply that the person who was holding the camera should own the content. So even they now trying to say that people who make the stuff aren't getting credited as much. That's weird. So it is widespread. We think it's just the UK where content's going back to the creators and they sort of run the business, but it's actually true over there because they changed their ethos because of the recession. So that's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why we're talking about someone's job promotion because it's not affecting us, like, but you know. But you know,
it's a bit of
I must
news,
admit,
though.
I was zoning out a little bit in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I could tell you were reading your fucking phone, you bastard. But no, I think it's interesting how some companies have thrived in the recession. Like Nerd Pervert didn't exist in the recession, but round about 2007, 2008 was when I sort of left the business for a year. Because I felt like I was just burnt out and I should have really just had some time off instead of just saying I was packing in.
And then I came on board, didn't I?
And then you came on board, and then we sort of came back with Nerd Pervert because we realised after the recession that because piracy was starting to take off, but it wasn't as bad as it is now, we felt like we had to do something different to stay current. If we were going to come back, we had to not do what we did before.
Yeah.
So the recession certainly forced us as a company to sort of up our game a little bit, and obviously that's how Nerd Pervert was born. And yeah, I would suppose in the trying times where people were closing down due to either government changing the law or because of the recession that they just weren't making money, we actually went up and became more, more of a business. So the recession was technically good for us, and I don't know if it's because we've got a good product. I've never been able to work this out because it's not for us to say. Is it because we've got a good product, or is it because as we were rising in popularity, the competition was dying off and there isn't as much competition anymore? So you'll never really know, will you? Yes, we've got our fans, but is it just because it was the right place and the right time for Nerd Pervert? That's why I never question it though, because we'll never know. You just have to be thankful that people are fucking watching it. You know what I mean?
Pretty much like.
Right, let's get into our chat, which we recorded on set of Nerd Pervert during the shoot with her, and it is of course the lovely Jordan J. So have a listen to this. Right, so I'm joined here by Jordan J. Thank you for agreeing to talk to the UK Porn Podcast.
Hello, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And anyone who's listening to this, right, this is actually on set after all the hotness is finished interview.
That it is.
Hot content indeed.
Like most of the time we interview people like obviously over Skype or Google Hangouts or something, because we can't expect people to travel all this way for a podcast interview, but it is good promotion for people like to obviously talk about the individual and stuff. So if we start at the beginning then, Jordan.
Of course.
When did you start out in the adult business, and what made you actually, because I'm always curious about that thought process where someone goes, I know what I'll do porn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it never occurred to me, and even still it doesn't feel real that I'm in porn. But it was in 2006,
right,
was my first shoot for Shemale Yum.
Oh, right, that site's been going a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah. How I got into it, I wanted to model, and I always wanted to be in front of the camera.
It always starts out like that, but then you give into the filth somehow, don't you?
But it was so hard. I mean, going through my transition anyway was difficult in itself.
Yeah.
So then to try and break in, obviously, to the model industry was tough.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, the next best thing was to try porn. It wasn't. I mean, the first shoot. It did put me off for like a few years.
Yeah.
Because even though I enjoyed being in front of the camera, I wasn't as comfortable taking my clothes off.
Right. Okay.
Strangely enough, so it took a couple of years to get used.
No bother today.
To get used to that, and now all these years later,
surrounded by two sexy nerds, and that you just couldn't wait to take your clothes off for us. So how did it leave you feeling? Did you just go, I'm pleased I've tried it, but I don't think it's for me? Like, was there ever a point where after that you thought, I'm never doing this again? Or did you have to go away and think
straight
about
after.
it? Yeah.
I enjoyed, the photographer, everyone was so nice. It was just my comfort zone. I just never... I think it was obviously going through my transition. I don't think I was as comfortable taking my clothes off.
Yeah.
And thinking that people would actually like to see transsexuals. Obviously now, there's loads of transsexuals.
So when would you say that big, massive uprise in transsexual porn happened? So if you started in 2006, was it because obviously I've just started shooting The Odd Thing, so I'm not really an expert in the history of when that niche became popular, but round about when you started, was it virtually unheard of? Because we were late to it over here, weren't we?
Yeah, in the UK, definitely. There was no transsexual, UK based.
Yeah.
So it was very limited. But even I had not seen or heard of anyone in the UK doing transsexual porn. So I didn't know if it was something that would hit off or whether people would enjoy watching me.
Yeah.
Straight after I didn't think it was for me.
So even Gruber Productions, he's from up my neck of the woods.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And he's actually gone over to America and made a big thing of it. So he was probably realised when he got over there how popular the niche was. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
why do you think it's popular? What's your opinion of it? Like, obviously you're a performer in it now, but like professionally, obviously you decided you did like it, and so now you're doing it. But like, what do you think the appeal is?
It's that curious. Everyone's got a curious side to them, I believe.
Yeah.
And I just think it's that, obviously seeing a gorgeous woman and then knowing or not knowing she's got something extra. I think it's just that excitement that.
I would say we were sat next to a beautiful woman, James, would you?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I mean, I remember when my business partner said, "Have you ever thought about doing any transsexual porn?"
Yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't just go, "Fuck no." I just went, "Do you know what? I've never thought about it." And he was like, "Because I think that would make a good nerd pervert story."
Was that your first answer? You'll think about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that-
yeah. It wasn't because I'd seen it and I thought, "Fucking hell!" Like, I've wanked over it before, so I knew it was a fantasy-ish. But some fantasies don't become realities, or when they do, they sometimes don't turn out to be what you expect. So sometimes that's what a fantasy is. Some fantasies are best left being a fantasy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And all I said to him was, I said, "Well, I can see your point. Nerd pervert is different enough that we could quite easily make him just unlimitless in his pervertness, which is the angle that we did when we
Okay, I
first
get
shot
that.
you."
Yeah.
But I remember being honest to you when we had that first phone call ever. And I'd said to you, you know, this is my first time doing it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but I can't guarantee that it's going to go well. So I wanted you to know that. So A, you would say, "Oh, well, fuck, I'm not wasting my time." And if, you know,
Yeah.
or, "Well, I'm still going to get paid, so I don't give a fuck." Do you know what I mean? I'm getting paid for
Really?
just turning up. So I just wanted you to make a yes or no decision based on the fact that you needed to know all the variables about the situation. But you were really, really nice about it. You reassured us I would have fun and stuff like that. And I was, you know, and I was thinking, bloody hell, she seems pretty confident that I'm going to like this. Do you know what I mean? But after what I'd said to you, everything was pointing towards how I did like the idea of it.
Yeah.
And then I just suddenly thought, you know, I'll not lie to you, I had a moment of not necessarily not wanting to do it with you, but thinking, God, should I just keep this as a private thing?
Okay.
And will this alienate me fans? Because it was a pretty big jump, but I've changed things before, and it hasn't gone down well, and I've done plot points before, but it hasn't gone down well.
Yeah.
And you can't undo it because it's episodic, so you have to find some way of then bringing the plot back into line.
Okay.
So it was a risk, like many things I've done with Nerd Pervert's been a risk. But then I just fundamentally said, but nothing about what I do is nobody else does what I do, and I refuse to do what other people are doing. And if I have an idea and I think it's amazing, then the next minute I find it online, I just go, I'm not doing it now because it's been done, and I lose interest.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, there's something striking about possibly doing some sort of transsexual storyline with my character and him totally being conflicted, but then totally getting into it the minute he sees you naked, and then totally being the ultimate pervert. So that was a very striking idea that I really wanted to do. And then obviously, you know, I told you, didn't I?
Yeah.
When I did it, I was like, well, it just felt like a normal shoot. It was just, there was no difference apart from a little kink itch was being scratched. But apart from that, it was just, and everyone I've told them, oh, it's kinky as fuck. Honestly, when you fucking, it's fucking, you just think, oh my God, this is amazing. And it is, but it's either, you can either do it or you can't. And I've got nothing against people who can't. But I think, do you think the stigma is that people think it's gay? I mean, what would you say it was? Would you say it was gay bisexualism? Or do you think it, because I'm attracted to you because you look like a woman, regardless of whether you've got a dick or not?
Yeah.
But I know some guys just won't admit they like watching it or would want to do it, or even maybe boot a TS escort because they just think of a stigma. And I think it's that you've got to shed, you've got to not care.
Yeah, see, I mean, I see it from different, everyone's different sides.
Yeah.
But see, for me, I'm just a straight woman.
Yeah.
So I'm attracted to men.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
So I see what I do. I mean, I sometimes have to realise that I've got a cock.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
just see myself as a straight woman.
Yeah.
But then I get asked a lot on cam from like people, straight guys, that ask, because they find me attractive, are they gay now?
Yeah.
And I get asked that a lot. And it's like, well, no, I mean, I'm not a man. There's nothing about me that's manly apart from what's between my legs.
But that's your money maker, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Does that make you happy though? Like the fact that you have got a cock. Like, do you think if you weren't making money out of it, would you still have it? Is what I'm getting at.
No.
No. So do you reckon there'll come a time where you think, right, I'm too old for this shit now, I'm going for it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's like your total goal, is it?
Yeah, I mean, from being young, it was my goal to get it done as soon as possible. And then, obviously, when the modelling came about, I enjoyed... I mean, I've always enjoyed... I've never sort of disliked my body. I've always enjoyed playing with myself and getting aroused. So then obviously the webcamming came along and I enjoyed doing that. So it just made sense to sort of...
I mean, the thing is, when you have a hard on and you're getting your dick sucked or whatever, or you're having sex, it's pleasurable.
It is.
So you've still got that. You know, it's like, why would you not want the pleasure to go away? Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if you have an operation, you know, there's certain ways to keep it so you've still got a sensitive part.
Yeah.
You know, I watched a documentary on it actually, and it was like, made me eyes water, I'll not lie to you, what they did. But it was amazing at the same time, like, that you can live in a world now where you believe you were born the opposite sex and you can transition over. And I think that's the thing that people need to remember, all the people who are quick to judge, is that you know who you are and nobody else does, because you know what you feel like inside. And, you know, I mean, I saw this guy on a documentary. He used to be a woman and she became a man, but he kept the pussy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think it was called Buck or something, so he still had a moustache.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
some
like,
of those DVDs.
yeah, have you? Yeah, oh, your sex shop. Oh, he's got everything in his sex shop. Fucking hell, I knew you know what we're talking about. But, like, so I wonder how he feels. Like, because he's kept it because he's a porn star. Mm-hmm. But you see, if that was the other way around, I couldn't do that. Because he's a guy. Doesn't matter whether he's got a pussy, he's a guy, I'm more attracted to guys. Like, I'll use an example because you're hairy, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could be attracted to that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just not my thing. I'm attracted to femininity, and that's what you've got. I mean, I think you are very, very feminine. Like, your mannerisms, the way you talk, the way you look. Like, you are a woman. You say you're a woman, and you are.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing, and I think that's what people need to remember about this thing. Now, it's not black and white, is it?
Yeah.
I think, like I say, when you sort of see people that obviously have never met a transsexual before, and they just got this image in their head, I do like to sort of like meet people and like go to different events where it's not sort of trans related, because then you meet so many and just open everyone's eyes up to realise that we are just women.
So have you seen the American side of it? Have you worked in America? Have you been to the AVNs, because they've got like a transsexual, obviously, section to win awards and stuff?
Yes,
have you
I've
been
been
to
to
any
the AVNs once, but then I've been to the TEAs quite a few times.
So what was that like? Was that good?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It opens your eyes, especially when you're sort of from the UK and there's not many of us over here, and then you go over there and everybody just comes to this one event, and it's fantastic to be surrounded by
loads of stunning women everywhere.
Yeah, and you think, I'm not alone. There's loads of us out there, and we all enjoy what we do, and it's fantastic.
It's weird you say that, because I mean, this isn't on the same scale as what you've just said, but when I go to industry parties, as much as I've had a rest from it this year, I do feel normal when I'm amongst other people who do it, because you know, like, we could go out for a bite to eat after this shoot, and if we start talking about that over the dinner table, we forget that we're in a public place.
Yeah.
We talking about work. We're just talking about work the same as anybody else. But it's not the table type of conversation when you're saying funny stories about, oh yeah, one girl sucked me cock that much, she drilled that much, I slipped on it and then he broke my neck, which is a true story with me, right? And stuff like that. But to us, we're just talking about work. So I like being around like-minded people. So for you to be over there with all these other people who's gone through the same thing that you have,
that's it. Yeah, it's just, I mean, everyone's so supportive and loving. I mean, people think obviously people in the industry aren't as nice, I guess, but everyone is so supportive and loving, and we're just all going through it together. Yeah. So it is nice.
Yeah. So have you had much work over in America? Because obviously, I know it's very, very small over here, but at the same time, you've got a British accent, and they like British performers to go over there anyway, don't they?
They love the accent.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've done like a few scenes over there, have you?
Yeah, the best time to go is the TA, because everyone photographers, just everyone goes to obviously shoot models from all over. So it's the best time to get shoots. So yeah, I've shot quite a few scenes over there.
Cool. So what's the industry like over there? Because in my circles of what I do, everybody just keeps saying, oh, it's so more professional. Because, I mean, my opinion of the UK adult industry at the minute is it's in the fucking gutter. It's like people really need to be more professional. It's terrible at the minute.
Yeah.
And over there, they've always been better than us, but I think they look even better than they ever have because our industry is so unprofessional. I mean, I don't class myself as that. I wish more people were like me and would just turn up and do shoots when they say, rather than just wake up one morning and they can't be asked and they've got some excuse around everything's good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, I've had one girl who fucking granddad's died 3 times. That must be awful. Fucking hell. I don't even know how that works out, but she was very upset on the phone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, what the fuck? just say you don't want to come. I mean, it's still annoying, but I don't like being lied to. So when you were over there, did you just go fucking hell? Like, I mean, I've even heard of sets over there where the fire brigade have to come and give you a permit to say that your set's safe for work. They actually go that far over there.
I've not. I mean, the shoots I did over there, it was very professional, but I think they was really laid back. So I think there was like sometimes shocked when I turned up because they get let down by or models are like an hour or two late. So they're quite shocked when you turn up quite punctual and you're all ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a professional setup, but they're just chilled and laid back, I think.
So what do you think of like the model agent thing? Like, because obviously over in America, you get booked through an agent where, you know, I can come directly to you if I want to get you in for a shoot. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because I don't think an agent at this point in time, because there's less work around, can promise a model more work. If it's not there, it's not there. I don't think they helping things, and I don't think they making things worse either. I just literally mean, like, if there's no work, they can't guarantee that they can get you it. Where in America, it's like, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Like, they all stay in a house. I've seen them documentaries where they've got 4 or 5 girls in the house, and it's usually the agent's place, and he rents it out to them, and then he just sends them to different parts of America when the work comes in.
Yeah, to be a better setup. I mean, I do everything myself, so it's nice to sort of be able to control that. But then to have an agent, it make life easier, I guess.
Yeah, well, it would, but again, like, I always think that the models are already working for themselves now. It's like, even I'm sort of classed as a male performer who needs content for his site for when I do content shares more than I'm a CEO of a company. I don't feel as CEO-y as I used to be because the industry's not that anymore. It's just everyone trying to still get, you know, footage to sell to make money, and that's by any means necessary. And I admire people's, you know, go up and get an attitude, but as long as it's done ethically and still professionally, then there's nothing wrong with, you know, doing whatever it takes to get the content, but you've got to still treat people with respect, and I think that's what a lot of people seem to forget.
Yeah, totally get that.
So what about the body of work that you've done in adult? Has it always been for dedicated TS niche sites, or have you done other stuff like you have with us where you're technically on a straight site that has the odd TS girl show up every now and again if the story's right?
No, you are the first.
Still only the first, are we?
The only, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because I know you were made up about that the first time, man, weren't you?
I was. It's flattering. I mean, every job and opportunity I get, I'm flattered to be asked. But yeah, yours really flattered me because it's not, like I say, it's not a TS niche site. But no, yours is the only one.
So is there any other sites, like, in an ideal world, if you were ever offered to work for, even if it was classed as mainstream, is there any sites that you would go, I hope I get a call from them one day if they ever decide to just take a step in a different direction? Is there anybody like UK or US based that isn't technically a TS niche that you would go, I would fucking love to work with them? That was my stomach, fuck.
I don't actually know. Like, there's a few sites that I follow, but they're all sort of gay porn related, and any sort of scenario like that is hot.
Yeah. So would you like to say, like, would you do a fake taxi scene if they ever wanted to do their first ever TS scene?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
You know,
any
'cause-
scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's why I always say if the story's right, but I say that for any model, like not just TS, the story has to be there before I hire somebody. And obviously, not that I didn't want to work with you again, but like you say, because there's not that many, I'm starting to take the easy life anyway with anybody I've ever worked with. It's just like, look, I liked being in her company. It was a good shoot last time, and I can't be asked to get someone new in, TS or otherwise, and not know what I'm going to get anymore because, you know, I've had a few people with certain issues and I just think, bloody hell, that was hard work. Now, obviously, people are people and everyone's individual, but I am 17 years in, I'm getting lazy and I'm just like, I just want an easy shoot where I know what's going to happen. And so, obviously, when I had another idea for a TS story, I had to obviously think about how I was going to further your story when we got you back.
Of course, yeah.
But I think it sort of all blends in perfectly to you, what we shot last time and today. It's just
how
the
it
next
follows
progression,
on.
isn't it?
It is. And obviously what we've done today is, obviously it's pushed the boundaries. It's it's definitely different. It follows on well.
Well, I'm pleased with what we did. I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out and stuff. And like I say, I always try and outdo the first time someone appeared on the site, and I think we've definitely successfully done that.
No, we've done that.
Yeah. So what about you then, James? Let's ask you a question, even though you're one of the co-hosts on the show now anyway. But how did you feel your first TS experience has gone?
Yeah, I thought it went well. Like, obviously, because it is the first time I've ever done anything like that, I was just a little bit nervous, like, you know, like, oh, what's it going to be like, all that kind of thing. Because obviously you kind of have things in your head like, oh, like, this is like people kind of see this, like the stigma to it and stuff like that. But I'm very much the kind of person where I'm like, I don't really give a flying fuck what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like kind of went for it, and yeah, like it was cracking. Like,
I mean,
I'd do that kind of thing again.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I found that if you just approach it like any other shoot, whatever trigger you use to get yourself going, I use the exact same trigger as I did the first time I shot with Jordan and today.
Like, for example, because this was like the very first time I've like kind of done that, that was more like kind of the nervous thing with me, because I was just like, it's a totally different thing. But then as it like kind of went on, I was like, oh no, yeah, like it's just you
know what I can see happening here? He's going to be bugging me to get you back again now. He's had a fantastic. He'll never fucking shout about it now.
It happens.
How's Jordan doing? All right, last time I DM'd her, why? Oh, just, she was in the area and shit. It's like, oh, fucking hell.
It happens. I should come with a warning, it does happen.
But see, I think that's what it is. It's the fact that, like, see, I always say to people, you know, which is bad advice, like, really, but I always say, don't do anything that you've never done in your personal life on camera. So, for instance, I've had models in who want to do a girl-girl scene, but they've never done it. And they have done it the first time on my set. Well, a girl-girl scene that turns into a boy-girl-girl scene, because I can't just shoot girl-girl because I've got to be in it, or you've got to be in it now. There's a certain formula that we can't really change, but there's nothing set in stone to say we can't change the model, which is why we were able to step into this area, because it still fits perfectly well. But so I always say, don't do something for the first time on camera, because you never know how it's going to go. I kind of had no choice, because obviously I'm in a relationship and I don't do anything outside of porn with anybody else, so I couldn't, you know, I wouldn't have permission to go and try a TS escort and say, fucking hell, that was kinky as fuck, right, I'm booking the first one. TS.
I didn't think of it like that.
So I had to, and it was either make or break. Obviously, you know, it worked absolutely fine, no better or no worse than any other shoot. And then when you were saying that, you probably would have had more scope to try it first if you didn't want your first time to be on camera.
Right. But then again, it's one of them things where just in my life, it's never really been a thing that I've been like, oh, do you know what? Like, I really want to try that one time. And then one time you were just like, would you do this, like, as a shoot? And I was like, yeah, like, I don't see, like, kind of why I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's good that you're so open.
But he is really open, though. Like, I reckon he was more open about it than I was at the beginning. because once I'd made the decision to book you, I was like, right, let's do this.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think if Ed had never mentioned it, I don't think it would have ever. And I think I'd have still been wanking over TS porn, and I would never have done it if he hadn't mentioned it. Because I don't think I would have even have thought. It's not about whether I could or couldn't do it. I don't think I would have dared mess with my formula, and that would never have been put into my head to go there and risk people just stop signing up thinking what the fuck's happened to this site, because some people won't like it because of a stigma, and they won't even like to watch it because of a stigma. But I've never been about stigmas. I don't understand why people can't just be who they want to be. That's the bit that I don't understand, and it's no skin up anyone else's nose if someone's doing something that's not your thing. You know, there's loads of porn that goes on I kind of stand to watch, but I don't stop them from doing it, and I don't boycott it, and I don't say, you know, they shouldn't be doing that, you know. Like, I don't like a lot of the rough stuff in America. I just think I always like to see the performers doing it because they like doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't get this, like, force your dick down the throat after she said no. I mean, you would have to have a hell of a consent form for that, though, wouldn't you? Like, you signed a model release form to say you've consented to everything you've done today, but it was nothing that you were never not going to be able to do anyway. Yeah. But, you know, if you start doing the rough stuff, you must have to have a fucking 6-page fucking model release form, because you have to still be able to prove that even though she looks or she's acting like she doesn't want to do it, that's what you've been told to do.
Yeah.
And you've got to prove the consent, haven't you? You know what I mean? So, in the future, where do you see yourself then in terms of in the business? Like, are you just doing this as long as it's fun, and then you're going to just go, right, I've enjoyed my time, but it's time to move on? Would you maybe like to direct, or maybe do your own stuff, which is becoming more and more easier now if you've got a decent camera and you can learn to edit? You don't have to have thousands of pounds spent on a rig anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, see my little toy camera that we shot with today.
That's awesome.
You know,
I to invest in one myself. Every year changes, sort of depending on like what jobs and stuff have been offered. I mean, at the minute I'm that busy like with other commitments. It's just
as and when you've got time.
Yeah, it's just it's enjoying the shoots, but then still being able to go back to webcamming and dancing and the other things.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see myself staying in the industry, whether it's directing or whether I have the full operation, and still, I mean, it's what I know.
Yeah.
So I feel that if there was someone new coming into the industry, I could direct them well. So.
I mean, have you ever thought of like even like helping people who are transitioning but are coming into the business? Like, I mean, you would be really good to advise against that, wouldn't you?
I think so. I mean, I get people on social media that want to start up and ask my advice, and it's nice to help, especially because I've been there myself. So it's nice to advise.
Yeah.
So if there's more of that, then I'd happily.
So how long have you been transitioning? Like, obviously you get to a stage now where you obviously like, apart from you want bigger tits and ass, women are never fucking happy. There's always something wrong with the bodies. I mean, that's a given. You're definitely a woman in that sense, aren't you? Fucking hell. There's always something. I mean, it's like one of my ex-girlfriends put a little bit of weight on, but not in a bad way, and her tits got bigger, and she always wanted bigger tits, and then when she had them, she hated them. So she wanted, and I was like, Jesus Christ, well, make your mind up. So, like, obviously, how long has your transition been to date then? Since 2006, did you say, when you started?
14, just before 14 years.
Right. And is that just,
years.
why does it take that long? Is it just because the cosmetic stuff costs money, so that takes a while? Or is it just like, because I've heard that, I mean, correct us if I'm wrong, because I'm not like an expert on this, but that when someone decides they want to transition into the opposite sex to what they were born, they've got to make sure that you're in the right frame of mind and stuff, because obviously it's unreversible depending on how far you go.
Yeah, see, the first point of call is obviously seeing your GP and going to a gender clinic, and then through that it takes about 2 years to obviously go through that process before you can be assigned hormones. I sort of went about it the different way, and obviously didn't want to wait for the NHS, so I went private. That's how I started. So young.
So we don't give a fuck whether like you change your mind halfway through as long as they're getting the money off you.
Exactly.
Bloody hell.
So I went. I mean, I was really young. I just
Can you imagine that? Sorry, love, we can't put it back on. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. After you've paid them, fucking God knows what.
But I think seeing the doctors, I think they knew I was in my right frame of mind. I did my mum's support.
Yeah.
So yes, I went the private route. But I think the reason it does take so long, money is a big issue. I mean, the NHS do help, but I've always sort of wanted the private sector because there's always certain surgeons that I want, and obviously I want the best, I want the most.
Well, it's your body, isn't it? It's got to look
exactly,
right.
Yeah. I'm very careful with who I choose. So yeah, it is the money.
So what about like what type of questions do they ask you though? Because like I said, they have to be certain that you do want this, because they don't want to end up being sued if you live to regret it. But at the same time, they can't see in your head. They can't see how feminine you feel, and because if you're a woman, you're a woman. You know you are, but they don't. If they know that they happen to make you look the opposite to what you were born.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one, isn't it? Like, I wouldn't like to be that person who had to say yes or no. This person knows what they want, because there's only you who does, really.
Well, that was my argument when I first started at the gender clinic, because I was like, why, as someone that doesn't know me, get to choose whether I can have hormones and live as a woman or not?
Yeah.
But they literally took us right back. I had to talk right from childhood. They ask you every single question.
Oh, what the fuck's that got to do? Because childhood's not gonna.
Well, no, it could be. I mean, the fact that I dressed up as a girl or played with girls' toys, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean I wanted to become a girl, I guess. But they ask, and then obviously you have to get a family member in.
Yeah.
And like the second meeting, and it takes a few years.
So what's been the hardest thing so far about the whole thing? Has it been? Because I mean, nobody likes an operation, do we? Really, it's like, if you have to go into hospital just because you need your appendix out, people would rather not have it done, but you do it. So the fact that you're choosing to do that to your body, when like you're choosing to go into hospital, are you always nervous before a procedure, or are you just like, I wish it was fucking over because I can't wait to see what I look like, because that's closer to how I can see myself in my own head? Yeah,
it's more excitement.
Yeah,
it's like after my first boob job, I wasn't nervous, or I can't remember feeling any pain whatsoever, because it was just the excitement of waking up and seeing them. It's something that I've always wanted.
Were you just like that in the mirror, like
there was there, but even now I'm forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's more excitement. And obviously, just thinking about the end result.
So were you worried about, like, obviously telling your family about it? Or did you think,
no, they knew.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew before I came out and told them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, how I am today, it's how I've always been.
Yeah.
So they did have an inkling, but...
So were they understanding, though? Because even if you have an inkling, until you come out and say it, they can just be like, well, it's not happening until she has the guts to tell us. Because you can have some very old, set in the ways values of people over a certain age. Like my uncle, for instance, right? He wasn't alive. He's not alive now. But when he was alive, he sounded like a homophobic and a racist, but he wasn't.
Okay.
Because he was from a time where, in the 60s, black people didn't have equal rights. So, when he went to have his heart operation, he said to me, "Oh God, the doctor who did my operation, he was black as the fire back," he used to say. And I was like, "You can't say things like that. What? So what?" And he was like, "Oh no, I don't mean anything by it. I'm just saying, like, we've got black doctors and everything now." And it's like, yeah, so he's coming from the fact that, like, they weren't allowed to sit on a bus, and it's like, yeah, but that should never have been a thing. Like, a human's a fucking human. Do you know what I mean? So, but then he'll say, like, "Oh, such and such over the road's like a puff," and I was like, "You can't say that." Now, but there wasn't a word for it when... I mean, I always wonder about, like, racism's always been there, but now you can get punished for it, because now, black people have got equal rights. And homophobia, right or wrong, gay people haven't just appeared over the last like 20 years. They've always been there, but it's through fear that they don't come out. So I'm just wondering what your take is on that. Like, your family must be pretty... It doesn't matter whether they knew or not, they must have been happy to accept you, because you could have someone like your dad could be in a proper old set in his ways, you know, bigoter.
Yeah.
And you'd still love him because he's your dad, but you want him to accept you. So you must have been lucky that your parents were modern in terms of the outlook.
Yeah, because I've been lucky. I mean, they was always supportive. My dad wasn't at first.
Yeah.
He just thought it was a phase. I mean, none of my family knew.
Everything's a phase, isn't it, when people don't want to admit it?
But none of my family sort of had met a trans person before.
Yeah.
So for them, it was more of a worry of what I've got to go through, because they didn't understand what it meant or what I had to go through. So I know my auntie and my grandma watched all the programmes and used to ring me every night just to update me on certain procedures. But no, yeah, they were supporting me. It took my dad a couple of years to realise that it wasn't a phase. And then he ended up running one of his businesses, so...
But then,
we're dead close
I mean,
now.
don't forget though, like, it probably's all changed that if he couldn't get his head round it first, when he saw how happy you were.
Yeah.
Like, funny enough, he's seen the daughter that he didn't realise he had happy.
Yeah.
So obviously it's like, that's all you want as a parent, really, isn't it?
I guess, yeah.
Even if you don't fucking think about certain things at first, because people, they're quick to judge and they're quick to overreact when you first find something out, and sometimes you don't know how you're going to react to something until you're in that situation.
Yeah, I think it's just that not knowing or not understanding. But I've always like said to my family, if you've got any questions, just, I mean, I'm so open and just ask me anything and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think that's the way to sort of tackle it.
Yeah.
Just ask.
So where do you think like transsexual porn's going, and do you think it's going to be getting more and more popular? Do you think it's going to...
Yeah, definitely get bigger.
Because I always find that a certain niche does become saturated eventually, and I often wonder if the TS niche is just one of those other things where once everyone's doing it, it's not as sought after, because the reason why it is at the minute is because people are still lying about watching it.
Yeah.
But if everyone was like, oh, TS porn, I fucking love that stuff, everyone would be like, right, next kink, what else is fucking not the norm?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I think the internet does make that a thing, that, you know, like I keep saying, balloon fetishes, girls popping balloons, makes people wank. Like, I don't always understand it, but everyone's free to have their own kink and watch what they want. So that's why I don't judge. Now, I do understand the TS thing, because obviously I like watching it myself, and I like obviously doing it when the time's right and stuff. But yeah, I never judge anyone, even if I don't understand it. I just go, well, I don't watch it, but I don't go, oh, fucking hell, I couldn't watch that.
Yeah.
I just go, I don't see the point. You know what I mean? It's just not, I wouldn't waste time watching it because it doesn't sound appealing to me. So I often wonder, with all the wonderful niches that the internet's created, and I do think it's the internet, I don't think the TS market might have even been here if we were still on DVD, because I think the web just opens up so many different things for people, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Oh, what made you think that?
That's a really good question,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking about that on the way home.
You know what I mean?
But
Like,
yeah, I think you're right. I mean, at the moment it's getting more popular. I mean, there's so many stunning girls coming out.
yeah.
But yeah, I think they probably will.
America's amazing. I
Latch
mean,
on to something else.
I've seen those award shows you've been to, and you just think, God, there's not one fucking
No.
unattractive bloody
Stunning.
TS girl
But
there.
they've all got the personality to match. They're all so down to earth and nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, stunning people.
It's definitely something I would want to experience, but again, I would have to like start and plan now for a nerd pervert American road trip, just going after TS
That
girls.
sounds fun.
I mean, it does sound good, because we've got the little mini camera, we can get all the car shots.
Exactly.
Driving around, we can pretend to, I don't know, drive past one in the middle of a like dirt road in America and give them the car and shit. I mean, you could, it's endless, really, isn't it? Where you could take it. But again, I would have to have the story first, because that's what I do with everything that I do.
Yeah.
I don't do it backwards. I like to know, you know, like I've got IDs for season 9 next year, and I don't know who's going to be picked until it's more fleshed out, and then I'll just look and go, she's got something, and that's why I always do. It's like I don't always work with people I find attractive because that's not what the job's about. But there's always something about them that you can focus on. I mean, they all can't be you. You know what I mean? So you've got to pretend with some people, haven't you? But yeah, I think it's just one of those jobs. Like I get a lot of new girls coming in, and sometimes they say they stay to me in character and they don't want to do it, and I'll say, right, no problem, because I don't get offended. But I'll say, well, can I ask you why? And it's like, oh, well, I like this type of guy and that type of guy. And it's like, right, I don't think you get what the porn industry is about, darling, because you don't always get to work with people who you fancy. You know what I mean? It's like, that's when you know you're a good performer, that you can do it when you go, well, I wouldn't go for her in real life, but she's got a lovely smile and she's got lovely eyes, or whatever you focus on.
Yeah.
And I always find it funny how new girls coming in think it's about being attracted to people. And it's like, God, I mean, you'll get even less work than you do now, wouldn't you? If you had that sort of motto
You would, yeah.
to doing it. Can you imagine that? I mean, like, there's a certain type of woman I like, and I've always tried to make Nerd Pervert the opposite, because I think if I look out through my pair of eyes, which is a certain type of body type or whatever that I go for, I'm not going to make any money if I'm only catering to one type. Yet sure, there'll be other people who like the same thing as me. But one thing I've prided on, we've shot like, obviously, MILFs, GILFs, you know, we've shot like girls with stretch marks, you know, if they've had a kid and they might not feel like they're good enough for porn, and I'll go, no, you are, because that's what we like to do. So that's your character now. You're a single mother, and you're single and you've never had any sexual excitement, and then you're going to meet three nerds and we're going to fuck you 7 ways from sideways, and you're going to be the object of our sexual desire, and they're like, oh, I'm fucking up for that.
Oh, that's amazing. It's variety.
Yeah.
Like I say, you're offering your fans everything.
Well, but the thing is, I always think like one particular type of girl could be one sign up, but then if it is only one sign up, I've done what I set out to do.
Yeah.
I've managed to try and get someone to join Nerd Pervert, because up until that point of shooting that particular person, their sort of favourite type of body or performer wasn't on the site, and now they are. And I think that's the way you've got to look at it. It's the bigger picture, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So, is there anything that you want to talk about before we close the interview off? Is there anything that you would like to get across to anybody else listening? Like, for instance, you know, what's your website links and your Twitter account if people want to follow your work?
Oh, there's so many. That's my belly now. It's my
We'll try and get a tune going.
You can follow me on Twitter, which is TS Jordan J. I mean, there's that many social media platforms now.
Yeah.
Like,
No one
I've
can
got
remember their own
different
platforms.
usernames.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's TS Jordan J on Twitter. My website's jordanjxxx.com. Instagram, which has proven very popular, is JordanJTS. So long as you've got JordanJTS in there, you'll find me.
Well, I've noticed it. I've put Jordan J in before, and I can't find you. You've got to put the TS thing.
Yeah.
Now, do you not think that's a bit annoying though? Because like, at the minute you're a transsexual because you haven't fully transitioned, and one day you said you might.
Yeah.
And then you won't have to put it in unless you want to look for your old stuff, and anything that you might do as a performer if you had the full operation that wouldn't be a label, would it? It would just be Jordan J. But I found other Jordan J's who weren't TS models, so that makes you Googleable, searchable. But do you not think when we're going on about like stigmas and labels, should that not just come into it though? It shouldn't come into it at all, really, should it? It does, but it shouldn't.
No, but yeah, because it does. I mean, yeah, you have to add the TS to obviously find me, but that's what I'm known for, I guess.
Well, it is, but it's just like I say, like if I look at you and see an attractive woman, then that's all you should be labelled as. But like I say, but then again, it's the niche sort of porn area that you're working in out of choice.
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of promote that whole TS thing, because that's where you want people to find you, I suppose, as well. So I suppose you have to do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still hard because I don't class myself as a transsexual.
No, exactly.
So it is having to keep referring to myself as a trans or she-male.
Yeah.
It is hard because I don't see myself as that.
Yeah.
But
and that's what I've always said. It's like how you see yourself is how you really are.
Yeah.
Because people's going to see a variety of different types of people in certain ways. Like, you know, there's some people I don't particularly get on with, and I don't see why people would like them. But they've got a wife and kids, so someone likes them.
Yeah.
You know, so I perceive them as a dickhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously other people really, really like them. So I think the only person who knows who you are is yourself. You know, I mean, I'm not like a fucking telepathic person, so I can't see inside your head. I have to trust what you tell us, and it's the same with me. I'm not really a pervert, I don't think, but maybe I am, I don't know.
Maybe.
You know, so it's weird, isn't it? I mean, we could talk about this on so many different levels, not just in what we've been talking about, and it's just like, deep down, how you see yourself, I think the message is the way you really are. And how other people see you, you can't control that, can you?
Nope.
You know, like I see him as a gorilla with his fucking hairy chest, but like, he's a human, do you know what I mean? Same thing, innit?
Pretty much.
Sorry, I don't know why I brought you into that.
Fucking hell. You know,
You know what I mean?
getting attacked there.
It's like the first time I saw you perform, I was like, that's a fucking hairy ass. You know what I mean? Like, there's hairy asses and there's hairy asses. This goes up his fucking back, doesn't it? You've got your own fucking, like, landing strip up your back from your fucking
Keeps us
ass
warm
cheek.
in the winter.
I bet it fucking does. I bet it's fucking lovely and warm. But yeah, so... Right, well, Jordan, thank you. I don't know what the fuck this interview's been about, but, you know, we've just been sat on the couch getting comfy, haven't we?
It's been lovely.
And cooling down, because it got a bit hot towards the end, didn't it? In both senses of the word.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. The fucking heating was on too high again. I need to fucking work.
You need to get it at like a solid just temperature.
And then we obviously had hotness in front of us, so it's like, it was like
But
a
that
fucking double whammy.
sweat was hot.
Yeah.
That glistening body.
Yeah, it
True,
was like
true.
bronze goddess, wasn't it? Sure enough, yeah. With a new 4K camera, so that was a good thing. Right, well, Jordan, thank you very much for talking to us. Much appreciated, and good luck in the future. Keep in touch, and I'm sure we'll find an excuse to get you back, because, you know, it's not really that hard, is it?
No, thank you for having me.
No worries. There you go, not bad, eh?
Yeah, that was kind of...
Interesting. I'm going to start and not say much about the interview afterwards, because I think it's dead air. We repeating what we like that they just said. Have you noticed that? Like, I listened back on the old episode and I'm like, why are we just going over what the person's just said in the interview? Like, they've just fucking heard it, you daft cunt, shut up. So we'll try not to do that. We'll just say thanks for taking part and very, very interesting chatting. That's all we're going to say on it.
Cool.
So yeah. Right, Scarlett?
I've got it
Sure,
here.
section
I'm
of the
here.
show.
I'm ready. Right, women will actually be happy to know this, actually. It says vigorous sex burns between 100 and 200 calories.
Canny.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know one thing as a bloke, if you're bending someone over and you're fucking the shit out of them, your fucking ass cheeks don't half hurt, don't they, after a while?
Yeah, they do. It's the tops of my legs that hurt the most.
Yeah, but if women are riding guys, your thighs hurt after a while, because obviously you're having to, like, use your muscles to, like, bounce up and down and that, don't you?
But this is why I've always said that porn sex is more vigorous anyway than real sex, because you can't have someone wriggling on your dick in cowgirl or reverse cowgirl. They've got to do...
Yeah, but it feels so good when it's deep like that.
Oh, no, it fucking feels very good, but obviously... In porn, you've got to show the dick going in and out, and that requires a lot of muscle in your legs to be able to do it without getting fatigued really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, each position's like about what, 3 or 4 minutes each, and then you've got a mixture of close-ups and fast shots that you can mess around with in your edit. But even that sometimes kills people's legs. So when you say your legs hurt, do you mean doing doggy, or you mean other positions where you're like penetrating down? Like I noticed on Sunday when when you were drilling it from above and I was underneath getting a close up, like obviously you're technically bending your knees the whole time, aren't you, when you're doing it?
Yeah, because obviously it depends on the height of our like kind of model and stuff like that. In that one, it was just it wasn't quite the right like kind of height for me, so I had to kind of squat a little bit the entire time, and it was just. Yeah, play as hell.
Well, I must admit that's why I got it to bend over on the couch when I was fucking her, and I got it to dip it back a little bit, because she was
Yeah.
taller. Like if you could, sometimes it's nice to do doggy standing up, but you can't. Well, you'd have to be on your tiptoes.
Yeah, aye, pretty much.
So but we're talking about porn sex again, we're about real sex, aren't we? So if porn sex burns calories, obviously real sex is going to burn calories, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good thing.
Alright.
Burning calories. So yeah. Get your women to have sex with you by saying, you do realise it burns like 200 calories, don't you?
Well, honestly, right, I mean, everyone's got a business to plug, so I don't know how true this is because, it could be just a business plug, but another show, the Charlotte Rose Sex Talk show, she's set up a new website, and I am going to plug her because it's interesting what she's doing. For once, I'm actually like, oh, that's interesting, that. She's got a sexercise website, and she said her and her partner's lost like over a stone in like a couple of months just having more sex, and on the website it's full of like different sexual positions that'll give you more of a workout and which is more vigorous to do.
Yeah.
Now obviously everybody who's got like a protein shake to sell or some sort of fitness home fucking bands or whatever to work out always look the fucking business when they're selling it, and they've always had results first, and that's why they decide to go into that market. So I'm going to be a little bit skeptical in thinking that business that she's doing is probably the same thing. There's a little bit of business spiel behind the facts, but we do know that sex does burn calories, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of it is true. And obviously it looks like an interesting website. When they get a better design, I think it might take off more as a brand. But that's just my criticism.
You have to think though, even if it was a bit of a spiel and you didn't really believe it, it'd still be good to try it though.
Aye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exercise.
It's a good excuse to like kind of get your partner interested a bit more.
In exercise, then we're gonna try and do some exercise this month. Bend over, love.
Bend over. What you doing? Take your trainers off. We're not going for a jog. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I tell you what we are doing. Put your hands on there. I'm gonna lift you up. We're gonna do the fucking wheelbarrow. So fucking hell. Right, Mr. James Logan.
Wait, two seconds. When I'm speaking, I can hear a bit of an echo. Is it not like
we can't on
a
our
bit
end.
close to the mic or something? Hello.
No, I can't hear you, but
Are you not getting it?
I'll tell you what it might be though, right, halfway through the interview with Kitty it just started echoing and I don't know why it did it.
Right.
Right, so Mr. James Logan, have you got a sex toy? You said you had at the beginning, so you're going to have to describe it because we can't hold it this time. So what is it?
So, the one that I've got this time is it's like a mini rabbit. So this one in my shop, this is one of the most popular rabbits that I sell. And I think the reason behind it is I get quite a lot of blokes coming in and they're like, I want to get my partner a toy, but they're like kind of just starting out. They don't really know like kind of what they want. And 9 times out of 10, most of them are like, they get a little bit like scared when they see the kind of normal big size rabbits. So this one, it's part of the Power Vibe collection. This one's called Rabby. So it's like a nice little fun name. And basically it's quite a small purple rabbit, but it's really good quality. It's one
got
of
a fucking hell of a mushroom on it in the end and all that.
Yeah, and well, do you know what? Like, it does look like it's got a hell of a one, but honestly, like, right, I'll try and put my finger up beside it. Like, it's not actually big, really, because that's just like me.
That's
me
like
talking.
literally one thing that I can say is not much bigger than my dick. If
no,
it might not even be bigger than my dick.
That is not bigger. I can attest. I have seen yours, and I have seen this. This is smaller.
I am bigger than a sex toy. So much win.
Hey, and this is still one of the most popular ones. Size doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so with this one, like, it's USB rechargeable. It's got like 10 vibration modes. It's only 45 quid. It's fully waterproof. And like the feel of it, like I do kind of wish I had this there so you could like kind of get it out and feel it. because the quality of this one is so much better than some of the other shit that like quite a lot of places sell. And I mean this is the reason why I actually bought it for my partner, because it's a really, really good one. So like if ever there's like kind of anyone out who's thinking of getting a toy for the partner, like honestly, I'd advise them to go for this Power Vibe, because it's just really, really good.
Sold.
I'll tell you what, that was a proper Mr. James Logan sex manager fucking sales pitch, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so.
I mean, I don't fucking want one, but you know what I mean?
I
You get up to 90 minutes per charge.
Ooh.
Can you imagine using that for 90 minutes on your missus?
Do you know what? Do you know what I love the most, though? Right, about all these sex toys now. I mean, I'm not an expert, so they might have always been like this, but because female ejaculation, i.e., squirting, is on the uprise, they all seem to be waterproof by default in case that type of lady buys it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it's no good at fucking shorting out when you fucking gush, is there?
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm glad I don't squirt.
It's fucking messy.
It'd be so fucking messy.
Do you know what it would be?
Crazy.
Yep, I mean, you know, we keep bringing up the past, but fucking Morgan, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that definitely was a little bit mad, like.
And it wasn't just like
Got me socks wet then.
Yeah, it was literally, it wasn't just like a little bit, it was like squirting out. Like you have to pull your dick
like,
out when she was coming, and
like
she was and she was fucking going into spasms, like fucking legs were like going mental, weren't they? I mean, I don't think she could have taken much more. I mean, see, this is the thing, right? She didn't say I squirt and I'm easy to make come because I like sex. She just said I squirt. So we're like, oh yeah, we'll never get that on. And then fucking 9 times between the three of us, we all fucking did it more than once.
Yeah,
it's like fucking hell.
Hey, maybe you should might have had a thing for nerds, man.
Well, I think she did, to be honest with you. She was looking at us with doe eyes when she was on her knees.
Yeah,
I think she likes nerds. So everyone, thanks for doing the podcast as always. Thanks for everyone who's listening to this live stream.
Yes, thank you.
And we hope that you enjoyed the chat. And most of all, we hope you'll join us again soon. Once again, if you're a company or a web designer or any type of chain or business or even a model, if you want to advertise on here and be featured throughout the 2-hour show, then email dustfilms@gmail.com for more info on our sponsorship packages. You can also tweet us, Instagram us, email us, anywhere you want. You know, get your questions in because we like to read them out. Obviously, you're asking questions now, but we can't multitask because we need an oracle. You know, like Batgirl when she gets shot up a joke and she ends up in a wheelchair, so she ends up being in the Batcave the whole time, giving Batman instructions in his fucking cowl. We need someone like that to read questions out.
So should we like cripple Craig, and then he can be what Oracle?
No!
All the Joker did was fucking take a crowbar to his fucking spine. That's quite easy to do. We don't need a gun license or anything.
True. Fair enough.
He'll be afraid to come round for the next one.
You know what I mean? As long as we don't do it like.
Would you trust him with the questions though?
Well, I'll tell you what. Once he starts, once he fucking stops moaning about what's pissed him off that week, you might actually get to the fucking point. Because he's not here this week, so we don't know what's fucking pissing him off this week. I think it's
he's probably looking after his auntie or his grandma or something, man.
Yep. And can I just say, I've fucked his gran and his mother. So, and his sister. They all fucking slags in his family.
Oh man, I really want to do his sister, like.
I tell you what, like, I can arrange it when she's up from uni, and now I'll just tell her to come round, and she fucking loves it, man. She's like a slag of a dom, you know.
Oh,
and nobody thinks that she's his little sister, and she's like butter wouldn't melt. When she takes her fucking glasses off and fucking wraps her lips around your cock, she's a entirely different person. Tell you. So
Tiny.
I bet if she couldn't fucking pay tuition fees, I bet she could fucking work something out, put it that way. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Right, so we off. Hopefully.
Keep it under.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we have or not. Fuck it. If we
Yeah,
haven't,
no,
we
who
haven't.
knows,
Fuck it.
man.
I
Yeah.
couldn't give a fucking shit. I don't
We
look
should
at.
increase our time.
I don't even look at my watch anymore because I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's like simple as that. So it is goodbye from me, Mr. Paul Taylor.
Goodbye from me, Scarlett Grey.
And goodbye from me, James Logan.
The man on the other side of the northeast.
The better side.
Wait, I know it's the better side. You got faster internet than us.
Oh, man, brilliant.
Right. Goodbye, everyone, and remember, fuckity fucking bye.
Oh, fuckity bye, Paul.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.